Well, hello. Welcome
Hello.
to Chasing Tangents. Here we are again.
Yes, I'm Stacy. This is my literary partner in crime, Renee. We're here. It's going to be the episode before our little hiatus. So,
Because you, unlike me, I'm just going to be back at the grind at work starting tomorrow.
sorry.
You are grinding in your own way. What's going on?
We're leaving. We're leaving here. We're leaving. We're going to be in Europe for a month. So our son's getting married, and we're going to go visit our daughter there, and the whole family's coming. So we've got a lot of plates spinning. But it's all
It
good.
sounds
It's
like
good.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what they call them champagne problems. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm,
Okay. So speaking of, will you go to Champagne? Have you been to that region?
I have not. We've been to the Loire Valley, which is Angers, which is where my son-in-law is from, and so we've been to that. We haven't been
Is
to
it Malo in the Lori Valley or in that area?
I don't know, Brittany. We've been to Brittany, we've
Right,
been to
Brittany. Right.
Normandy, we've been
Yeah.
to some of those outskirts, So I think we're gonna stick really close to Paris because we've got a lot. I mean, well, I take that back. We're going to Corsica, which is
Okay.
we're flying. I mean, it's an island, so we're flying
Right.
there, which is we've never been. Riley's never been, so we're gonna go and do some hiking, some beaches, hopefully get some rest.
Okay.
I need some rest. And so we're going to kind of do that the first week and then come back and hit the ground running with different things. And I have a few
So
things.
when is exactly is the wedding?
June 27th.
Okay,
So
so
right at
toward
the
the
end of our
end
trip.
of your okay.
Yeah, we extended our trip for a week. And so the girls are coming in on June 20th. And so they'll be there for 10 nights. And then we extended our trip. So everybody
You're
will be
so
there.
bougie.
I am so bougie. And
You were
it's
so
all because,
bougie.
yeah, I don't know why. I mean, I'm just like, it's just my kids, happen to live there. And so I have to well, we extended our trip, it's like,
Yeah,
okay,
we're staying
so
in Paris for an extra week.
an
Yes.
extra week. Yeah. So we're doing it. But I'm going to try
Okay.
to I have a few things planned. So we were talking ahead, before we started, we did a walking tour with a local, and that was
Mhm.
really great money spent. It's actually called walking with the locals. Like they wear
Oh, in Paris,
vests. I mean,
yeah.
yeah, in Paris. I mean, and we did a Momont one, but I'm gonna, we've got our
I love Momont. I mean, that was one of my favorite
yeah,
days was touring around there.
for sure. It's got
Uh-huh.
so much. I mean, it's just so, yeah, it's so quaint. And so, I mean, the story of Momont is, it's not Paris.
Mm-mm.
Momont is not Paris. People
No.
think, okay, Momont, the reason they did the Sacre Coeur, the reason they built the Sacre Coeur where they did is because they wanted Paris to see Momont. Like, this is not you, like, and they fought from there at
Yeah.
time, to
Because
keep
it's the
their
highest
independence.
point. It's the
Right.
highest point.
Right. And so they wanted to keep their independence and all this stuff. So it's,
And when
there's a
you're
lot of
there and
history.
you're actually at the very pinnacle and you look out and you see Paris, the Eiffel Tower looks like it's 2 inches tall. It's so
Yeah.
far away.
Yeah. Yeah. And, Moulin Rouge is there, and that's the big,
No,
and it's actually not like it's very anticlimactic.
it
Um,
very now when we were there, I think they were even working on the windmill. So
okay.
it wasn't even I don't know if it was partially deconstructed or what, but
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
yeah, and Marcos, what, that was it? Yeah. Hmm.
Hmm. Hmm.
We just went right by it.
It's not what the movie and the play. It's definitely anticlimactic, but it's kind of fun to see it and walk past it and be like, oh, there's the Moulin Rouge, and so
Exactly. I think that was enough for us too. We didn't go and tour it or anything.
yeah. Did you go to
Yeah.
the Love Wall? The wall with
Yes.
all that's so
The-
cool. It has
Yes.
love in every language. I
Yes.
think that is a really cool, just because it's just
It's
there and
like
it's just
any big city. You and I are
yeah,
big city gals. Like we
yeah,
love New York, and there's always something new to find. There's always
yeah,
something new to find, I'm sure, in Paris.
yeah,
Always. something new to find in London. Like there's a reason why big cities are so fascinating. And my husband's the opposite. He hates big cities. They
Yeah.
freak him out. And I'm
Yeah.
the opposite. My
Yeah.
mama, New Orleans, I just drop me off in the middle of the, just right there in Jackson Square and let me go.
Yeah. Yeah. I do too. I really like it.
Yeah.
Jerry's not as big of a fan. Um, he does like he's getting to love Paris more. And I
Mhm.
mean, part of it, of course, we would not be going to Paris all these times if our child didn't live there.
Right.
I
Right.
mean, I'm
Of
not gonna,
course. I mean, that's,
right?
yes. It's like my
So
brains
that
with
is the
a
draw.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
And yes, and then you're getting pieces of that city that you never would get paying money
Exactly.
going and being on a tour and all
Exactly.
of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
All right. So then you come back and then you're going to be moving around. Jerry's
in
going to,
Nebraska. Yeah, we're going to be
and
in
back in
Nebraska
Nebraska.
for a month, and then we'll come back here. We'll drive back here because we're flying to Mexico for a week. That's our yearly Mexico trip. But and so then we're going to kind of just figure out what we're doing,
You're in your
and who knows.
go-go years. You're in
I'm
your
in my
go-go
go-go
years.
years. Yep, I'm in my go-go years, and we're just kind of taking things. That's kind of all I know right now. But I'm hoping that you and I will come back
Oh
for
yeah.
the month of July for sure.
Yeah.
And
And I have nothing going on until I think I'm going to try and go home back to Florida in August at some point, but like a
okay.
4 or 5 day trip. And then a friend and I are going to go to the Vatican in October for research for me. So I don't need Rome. I just
So
need the
much
Vatican. Yeah.
fun. That is so
So
exciting.
for
Oh my
research.
goodness.
So that's going to be
Nice.
in October-ish. And so anyway, that's all I have planned other than just working my little tail off because I've got
Yeah.
another year and a couple of months before I can actually get into my go-go years, so to
Right.
speak. So in between that, I'll be writing and you have been writing. So I gave you an assignment
Yes.
when we last met, we
Yeah.
watched my best friend's wedding. You gave me an
Yep.
assignment because you sent me your prologue.
Okay.
But so do we want to talk about your prologue first or your assignment? I know you're
Um,
dying to hear
I know
what I
I'm
have to say.
dying. I am dying. Let's talk about the assignment.
Okay.
Because it was identity versus essence, right?
Right. Right. So you
And
were going to figure out your
yes.
characters' identities, which is who they are living as right now, what
Yes.
they think their identity is, who they're presenting to the world, how they are building this wall around themselves to basically protect themselves from whatever it is that is their wound, their big wound.
Right.
So tell me about their identities first.
Well, it's very interesting because with the way I'm writing this book, it's, their identities their true identities, their true people are very concealed,
Right. So
on
their
purpose.
essence, yes,
Their
their
essence is
essence, very
concealed
concealed.
because, on purpose, both of them
Right.
don't want anybody to know who they really are, even each
Right.
other.
Okay.
Like they don't even want, so they're very concealed. So it's like, it's a complete shell. Their identity is just a complete, I feel like it's a shell.
Yeah, the hard coating of the candy. They're
Yes, yes,
M&Ms.
for both of them.
Yep.
It's still very difficult to, like, one day I'll just like really be focused on Claire, and then the next day, like, Nancy will just be there, and I'll just be like writing Nancy. So I don't know. I think I have two main characters, but yeah.
So you're
I
not
don't
quite
know.
sure yet. Okay. And
Not sure how
here's
it's going to end. I don't. Yeah.
you're not even sure who they really are. Not sure. Do you have any idea what's their outer goal?
Well,
Their
they're
concrete, because remember in my best
right.
friend's wedding, her
Hmm.
concrete goal was break up the wedding.
Right.
That was what the
Right.
whole everything hinged on that. It kept her
Right.
in identity. It kept every bad thing she did was because she was fighting to stay in identity and never go into essence. So it's a really good example of identity, essence, and outer goal.
Okay.
And we could break down a lot of movies and go that way.
Yeah.
So it's okay if you don't know that. This was one of the
No.
things I was going to tell you is that there are two ways to write a book. Actually, there's 1,000 times a million ways to write a book. Everyone has their own process.
Right.
I like to know those things before I go in, or at least partially know them, especially the goal, because normally I'm on deadline. I don't have a lot of time to noodle around. And
Yeah.
if I know that writing the book, it grounds me, it gives me the roadmap in my head. I don't even have to have it written down to get
Right.
this book written
Right.
and to know that I'm not going to have massive revisions. Other people, I have a friend who she peters around, she dinks around, she dawdles, she plays with it, and then deadline's looming, and she'll write the book in 6 weeks. But then she gets massive revisions and has to completely tear it up and start
Mm-hmm.
over.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the other way. I work really hard on the front end, write the book, and have very light revisions. So, because it's so interconnected that the editor can't unravel it because it's so tightly woven. And so then my revisions become, let's make this stronger, let's make that stronger, let's pull away from here, as opposed to rewriting the whole book.
Yeah. And
Either
I mean, since
way,
I've never written a book, I assume mine's going to be more of the
I think,
massive revisions. I mean,
and that's okay
you
too.
know,
I think more you're a fly by the seat of your pants person, and a dirty, I have to keep reminding myself all the time, just get the words down, just get the words down. They
yes,
don't have to be
yes.
good. It can be dirty. You can rewrite it. So now let's talk about your prologue. I printed
Okay.
it
Okay.
out.
Okay.
Okay. So lots of feels, good feels for you, lots of positive. I love where you're going. I think what you explained to me is exactly what you wrote. And it's exciting in terms of you're on the right track. So I
Oh,
think
okay. Good.
that's, yes. I
Good.
love your idea of we're not sure who's who
Yeah.
in terms of the sisters. You've got that is it, what was the little boy's name? Miguel? What was his name? Why do I think? I don't
Miguel.
think you named him. There's a little boy in
No.
there. Okay.
The boy that she ends up having to marry.
Okay. See, we don't know that yet. You just
No,
know that there's a little
no.
boy and
There's
they're,
a little boy,
okay.
but he's actually trying to find a wife.
Okay, so there's going to be right. So there's more to all of that. Um,
Yes.
so here's what I want you to do because I think we talked about first person, third person, and you told me it was first person. This is third person, and the
Okay.
reason it's deep point of view, third
Right.
person. You wrote it from the mother's perspective
From the
because
her mother, yes,
the
because she's
mother's
always the
perspective,
one that had to make the
right?
compromises and the submission. She had to be
Right.
submissive,
So
and
we
yeah,
get a really good idea of what her life is. And then the sisters kind of show up at the end.
right.
My suggestion would be because reading it, my thought was, okay, this is going to be the mother's story. Because
Hmm.
remember, as a reader, first thing that you see is usually the first person you're going to connect to. So as
Okay.
a reader, I'm reading this going, okay, this is a subservient woman who is the typical missionary's wife who follows the mission, the
Right.
missionary.
Right.
And his calling, not hers, and
Yes.
her attempting, but we get really little of the sisters. So I feel like when we get into the book, which will be the sisters going forward, I'm going to wonder what happened to the mom for a couple of pages. So
Okay.
as a
Okay.
reader, I'm going to be playing catch up. So what I want you to do, and
Okay.
again, this works. Um, because I see where you were going and it makes sense.
Okay.
You even say the loneliness, hangs in the air. Um, so I get the sense of what the mother's life is. Would you say, and this is going to be hard because you've got to choose, is which of the sisters, Claire or Nancy, or whichever ones you name them, or is Claire and Nancy the same?
No, Claire. It's Claire and
Claire and
Nancy.
Nancy. Who at the end of the story through this book has the most to lose? Who, as a reader, do you want most to follow through this story? At the end, you're going to go, yes, I'm so happy, or yes, she didn't get what she wanted, kind of like with the Julia Roberts. That movie, My Best Friend's Wedding, is not about the guy. It's not about Kimmy. It is about Julianne. The
Okay.
whole thing's about Julianne. Um, and everything else feeds into her. George, it's not
Right.
about George. Everybody is feeding into her. Um, and I think because this is going to be your first full length novel, and most people, there's always one person, like I think you just read The Last Fashion House in Paris for me. It's
Yeah.
really Paulette's book, even though Nicole and Sabine played a huge important role in that book.
Right.
It
Right.
was really Paulette's story. Who do
Right.
we open and whose point of view do we open in?
Paulette's.
Paulette.
Mhm.
So now the other two are super important and their journeys are very important. Their backstory is very important. Everybody comes to a head in that final scene. The prologue, we
Right.
see what happened to all of them. But at the end of the day, they cut out before the end of the book and we follow Paulette through the last couple of chapters. So think about that. The other option, see, there's so many ways to tell a story.
I know, because my brain is going. Well, let me just see if I'm. My brain is going. I want the end to be. They both really wanted the same thing. They were just
Okay.
going about it in different
Differently.
ways.
Okay.
So my Pollyanna positive thing, like in the end, even though it's going to be kind of messy and thrillerish and kind of mess, in the end, I want them to come together and you got something going on there, Renee? You were looking behind you.
I was hearing a buzz. Okay, I'm sorry. I am like Renee, where'd she go? I am like
squirrel?
I'm a squirrel. Okay. I heard you. You were
Okay.
talking about they're going for the same thing at the end. Yes.
So can they get the same thing in the end? It's kind of, I mean, so if you want to go back to Julia Roberts,
Okay.
even though it was a mess and she was crazy and everything, in the end, she wanted the same thing that Kimmy and
Michael.
Michael wanted, and really George
Yep.
wanted her peace. George
Yep.
wanted her to have, so in the end, they all got the same thing.
True, because she had to let go of Michael and he had to let go of her
Right.
because his relationship with Kimmy would never be what it will
No.
become without letting her go, without letting Jules go, the Julia Roberts character.
Right. But then he came back and when he said goodbye,
that was it.
left it like, yeah, it was like, okay, we all
I
wanted the
release
same
you.
things. Yes, we all
Mhm.
wanted the same things. We want your peace. We want love. We want peace. We want, the peace in the relationship. I'm without even, before I even watched the movie, that's kind of where I was. Like it's they're together, then they're apart, then they're together. Is that too convoluted? Is that too?
No, it's not. It's not. It's yes, that actually makes sense because they're both wanting to achieve whatever that is. And again, this is the hard part about writing a book because the internal is really what we're talking about. The internal
Right.
is like for going back to the Julia Roberts movie. And
Right.
the internal was she needed to be vulnerable, she needed to be honest, she needed to be forthright. She needed to lose in order to gain. That has nothing to do with her breaking up the wedding. That is all within her inner peace. She
Okay.
thinks if she breaks up the wedding, she will get all of that. But throughout
Right.
the story, we learn, and most of us, including George, know from the beginning, in order for her to have all of that, she's got to lose.
Yeah.
So same with these. You're really nailing down who they are, what their identity is versus their essence, who they need to be at the end to have their happily ever after. But what's driving them there? And what is that? Is it to bury their mother? Is it to find her? Has she gone missing in the jungle? Is it to find,
Well,
The
initially it's to
father.
find each other. I mean, it's
Okay,
to
so then,
find
okay,
each other,
so
but
they don't even know where they are. In other
no,
words, they've separated. Was in the prologue, the end where one goes off into the jungle and the other can't find her, and so then they don't find each other until the end of the book. Is that what you're
not till the
thinking?
end of the book. Kind of that moment where they meet each other
The
at
mirror moment. Yeah,
the mirror
the
moment
midpoint. The midpoint.
at the mission or at the shelter.
Okay. Is that like the
But
midpoint, or is
um,
that
it's more at the beginning because I'm Nancy has orchestrated it. She knows. She knows. Claire doesn't know that Nancy is her sister. But
so? I
Nancy
think
knows Claire is her sister, and there's revenge
okay.
driving her, and it's negative. It's a negative goal
Okay,
to
so I think
destroy.
what you need to do is tell the story from Claire's point of perspective.
Okay,
Claire,
yeah, yeah.
because Claire has the most to lose. She has no
If it comes
idea.
out, she's
Yes,
completely fake. If
she's
it comes
yeah,
out,
she's shocked. Is she the younger of the two
well, we don't
or
know.
the older?
I
Okay,
want to see. I want to make it that she. If I want people to think she's the older one that got out of the jungle, but in the end, it's I want it to flip that she
so
was
she
the
ends
one that
up
had to marry the tribal kid and was there
right.
for 5 years.
Okay,
Is that to see?
yeah.
Am I too complicated? Is that
No, no, no,
too many
no, no.
twists?
It's not. No,
Okay,
I think that's fine as long as and see this is where when you get twisty, when do you reveal the twist? How are you going to reveal
right.
the twist?
Yeah.
But that's later. Let's go back to the beginning with the prologue.
Okay.
One one possibility, I'm just going to throw this out there. If you tell the prologue from the mother's point of view, the missionary's wife, could you, and this is something to think about, at every turning point turn this into more of like a not necessarily a diary entry, but at every turning point go back into her point of view, telling the story from her perspective, how they got to
Mm,
Peru, how she didn't want to go, or when do they get divorced, does he finally get killed, is that the best worst day of her life, and then tell, or if you're not going to do that, then possibly think about retelling the prologue from each of their perspectives and see which is
okay.
stronger.
I'm intrigued by the mother. I didn't mean to tell
Right.
it from her. So I'm intrigued telling this story like from her point of view because she, knew her daughters, but maybe doesn't know. I mean, that's kind of an interesting, intriguing
Thought.
concept
Hmm.
um,
Hmm.
because
And the
she
only
knows
reason
she's the only
I
one that
just,
knows who they both are,
right,
right?
right. And, you know, once you get them out of the jungle, is she still trapped there? Does she come with one?
Yeah.
Lives there? Does the father, I'm sure they have a home church that's sponsoring them. Do they go back and forth to that home church?
Mhm.
Are their Peru stints in Peru always temporary? But then, so that's even harder life for the children
Right, right.
because they get normality, American normalness, then
Yeah.
they get the Peruvian missionary existence. And nobody has signed up for any of this but the dad.
Right. The dad's the only one. So you're okay. So I wasn't focusing as much on the prologue was kind of where I left it, except for when they're thinking back, Nancy and Claire are thinking back. Um, because I have them married to the same guy. And
Okay.
Nancy orchestrated it all. And this Blake/Ben kind of was what did I put here? Is this luck? I said, um, is it luck or fate that brought Ben into their lives? Because it worked to Nancy's plan that Ben was a cheater and
Okay.
but is that going to be so complicated? Because that's where I had Nancy kind of ruining Claire's life. Is she's gonna? So it's so funny. I told Jerry, okay, I just want you to know, Jerry, that I looked up how to kill somebody with fertilizer. How to kill your, and it's not directed to you. Don't think I'm trying to kill you.
If you by chance go through my internet, yes, my internet history.
It's called organophosphate toxicity. And it's agricultural products can cause this, which affects the nervous system and can lead to life-threatening respiratory failure. So Nancy is slowly putting this in his food.
So how does she know? So then you've got to now build the reality of Nancy's. I mean, yes, so she may have done it on the internet. Like
figured
you did.
this out.
Yeah, figured it out.
Yeah, Nancy's definitely motivated to be a conniver.
Or is she? Because I think about, I have that twin sister that we have a very weird, volatile.
Yeah, should I make them twins?
Unhealthy, toxic relationship that in the end is the supposedly bad sister protecting Claire all along? Or is she sabotaging her?
Right.
And so that's where your twist can come in, because I think about with my sister and I see our roles switching often.
Yes.
But I also see as me having to always take that step away from her because it gets too toxic.
Yeah.
And for me,
I like the idea of them being twins.
Okay.
Then
they could be like my sister and I. They could be fraternal. So they don't look like twins.
They don't look
like twins.
And they don't act alike, but they're twins.
And the farther Robin and I got,
have to be
right. The farther we got away from being twins and sisters, the more different we've started to look, act, be, behave. Anybody meeting us other than our voice would never even know we were related.
Okay.
Over that time, our paths have not crossed very often, and when it does, it's even a toxic reunion. We pretend nothing else has happened. It gets toxic. There's this weird pulling off away from me pulling away, her holding resentment and anger.
Okay.
And then doing something that, so here, just
let's hear.
Maybe like a month ago.
Give me the tea.
Okay. Let me spill the tea.
Spill the tea.
I get this weird email from her to my AOL account. I don't even know why I still have an AOL.com account.
I was going to say, wow, okay.
Other than, for some reason, one of my editors has not understood that I changed to Gmail probably 15 years ago. She keeps sending everything to my AOL account.
Okay.
Don't know why. But because of that, I can't get rid of my AOL account. Everything else is just, delete. So I get this email from her, and she knows I don't have an AOL account, but I get it from her about a month ago. And it is what she's going to say at my funeral. And
what?
Yes. And she's going to turn it into a game where everyone is going to have a paddle. I didn't know this about Renee, yes or no. At the funeral. So and it is the most passive aggressive crap. And there's things of it. I'm reading it to Mark, and Mark is like, well, that sounds nice. That sounds nice. I'm like, but she knows that I know that she doesn't mean it nicely. And she means it in a very passive aggressive way.
If anybody said, here's what I'm going to say at your funeral, I'm like, well, do you want
to? And then she said she wrote it because we had a big blow up. Because somehow me going into heart surgery was about her, and everybody was worried about me, not her.
Yeah.
Okay, so then that was when she wrote it. This is what I'm going to say when we're all sitting at her funeral.
Okay, well, I'm not. I'm going to tackle her if I'm alive. And
I told Mark that. I told Mark
if I'm alive and you happen to go before me, I will be.
Don't let her talk.
No.
Don't let her talk.
No.
Don't let her talk. And I told Mark, don't let her talk. And I told Hillary, don't let her talk at my funeral. So
I'm a 3-time eulogy writer, so
I know. So
I write eulogies.
And I wrote my mom's and my dad's, and mine are
Oh my
more funny
gosh.
and crying and laughing at the same
Yes.
time.
I can't.
And so
Okay,
she's
I'm getting
terrible,
ahead.
by the way. Yeah, she was terrible at my dad's. So my point is that here I am living my life, doing the best I can, reaching out when I feel strong enough and comfortable enough, allowing it to get toxic enough that then I break away, then we come back together. In her mind, sorry, this is stupid. Okay. In her mind, she's the victim. She's been victimized our entire childhood, not only by me, but by everybody in the family. And so you could go that way. You
Right.
could have,
And that is one of the things, revenge. I can't remember the line. I have to look it up because I haven't. Revenge doesn't make sense. So this revenge that
right,
she's seeking doesn't
doesn't
make
make sense.
sense because
So to make her,
it's not the sister's fault that
right,
any of this happened to
it's
her.
her brain making it her sister's fault.
Exactly. And so
Okay.
revenge
But the
doesn't make
mother, now here's what you could do.
okay.
The mother can also be the victim in this scenario as well. So rewrite that prologue with, he's made me do this. I've had to do this. I've had to follow him in a way that she's somewhat of a victim. That way she has trained one daughter to be victimized and play the victim. And the other,
It's more like the
I'm
dad.
never going to be like mom. I'm going to be like dad. I am going to serve others. I am going to be healthy and live a life. And
Mhm.
no, it's not going to be in the Peruvian jungles. So, what I would tell you is that as a reader, I think we want to read Claire's story because I hate to say it this way, but the normal good twin. If you go into Nancy and the mom's point of view too often, it's going to be too dark and toxic for the reader.
Okay.
However, they can be fun to write and you can
Right.
do all the twists through their point perspectives and maybe
Yeah. Is it okay?
a
Like,
thought.
what if we did like, okay, so chapter by
Okay.
chapter, let's just say, instead of
Right.
saying
Right.
chapter 1, chapter 2, we say Claire and maybe get a date. Claire,
Yes.
so that we know
Yes.
exactly. And I am a fan of small chapters.
Yes.
I'm reading a book right now called The Ghostwriter. I don't know if you've ever, have you read that book?
No, I haven't.
Okay. So she kind of does this, but kind of doesn't. She goes, but writes in first person,
Okay. But
but
we know the name
we
and
know who is talking because of the chapter title
the
and
time.
the time frame.
And you could even do the mother because you could set
Yeah,
her back in
in
past. As long as
1998.
as long as you ground the reader.
I
I always
kind of
call
like
it
that.
ground the reader.
Yes.
So in some ways you can unfold as the story goes how one daughter has really
Mhm.
become the grown-up version of the mother and then the other daughter has become the grown-up version of the father. Outwardly, you can make the father seem from the mother's point of view this horrible controlling man when
Right.
in reality he could just be a
We could do,
true
I could do one or two of Father
yeah,
and give his little blurb, even though it really is about the sisters and the mom
absolutely.
I could do
There's no
like,
structure that you have to
here's
follow.
here's his point of view. I don't want, because I don't want to be like this. I don't
But you
want
could
to
do it.
talk behind his back and not give him a chance to say, this is why I did what I did. Maybe a couple of chapters in there.
Yeah, you could even show him, a true heart for God, if you will, just
Right.
maybe however you want to look at it.
Yeah.
And you can have Claire be a true heart for the downtrodden, if you will. And so when she gets to the United States and marries this guy, becomes quite the philanthropist within their wealthy world and is only living the legacy that she knows. And then you've got this toxic sister that keeps trying to, you could even have her be one of those that throws the bomb and runs for cover. Like she implodes Claire's life and then runs for cover,
Yes.
disappears, and
Yes.
then comes back just long enough to implode it and then disappears again and feels incredibly justified, much like the mother is justified in hating the father, when really the mother has always had free will in her own choices, but has preferred to blame him for her misery.
And did she try to, in the jungle, make it so that they could get out, and it all went to shit? I mean, it all messed up, but she was actually the one that was
Or was
orchestrating
she
them,
very, very passive through all of
passive, and
it?
letting this tribe boy come in, and the dad was like, we're reaching them, we're finally reaching them, they're coming in.
And maybe so pure he doesn't see the evil in people. Because, I had a
Yeah.
pastor that said we're all 100% good and 100% evil. That's what makes us human.
Yeah.
And the father can think, like a lot of people, very idealistically, that everyone's more good than bad. And the mother's
Right.
always, people are more bad than good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think
I
that would be
really, I
compelling.
because one of the things that I started to go down a rabbit. I started chasing a tangent in my head, a bad tangent. Like, okay, I kind of know the beginning and I kind of know the end. Okay, there's like 3 pages. Like I need the middle, and this is giving me quite a middle to work with, and it's taking it in smaller chunks for me. If I can
Yeah.
go like voice by voice,
Mm-hmm.
voice by voice, instead of like this big long story and trying to fit it in. It's like, here's Claire's voice, here's Nancy's voice, here's Claire's voice, and
Here's the mother's voice. Here's the
yeah,
father. And
yeah,
just enough to
and
sort of,
maybe Blake then
yeah.
gets to have a voice. I
And
don't know.
I don't know about, well, you could, well, just see.
Yeah, we'll
And
see
here's the
where
thing,
it goes. Maybe this isn't
nothing's
going to
written
be.
in stone. You can write their perspectives and then not use it.
Yeah, so it's more, instead of it being, I look at it a little bit. I mean, like, I'm like kind of like Frozen.
Yeah.
Okay, so Frozen, you thought it was gonna, like Disney movies are always, there's a love story usually up, and this one, the trolls said the way to break it is love's true love's kiss, a true love kiss, and it ended up being
The
the
sisters.
sister's love is,
Hmm.
because you thought, oh, it's not going to be that prince that's there, he messed it up, so it's going to be Kristoff, and he's going
And
to get,
it's
and
not
it
him
ended up,
either.
no, it ended up being, even though Kristoff was great and he rescued her, and he took,
And
he
he ends up
got
being her love,
her
her love
love,
of her
right?
life.
So, but
Yeah.
it's not the
But that's
focus.
not what
The
the story
focus is
was
the
about.
sisters, and that's kind of where I'm like, I yes, it's kind of a thriller. Yes, there's going to be some twists and some turns, but I really want it to be more of
The
relational,
sisters. Yeah.
a
Relations.
domestic
Yeah.
relation. Yeah,
Women's
relations.
fiction. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
sisters.
So,
Mhm.
so the genre is a little bit women's fiction with some thriller twists. I don't know, but
Which is okay, which that's kind of all of the new genres are merging, like
yeah,
romantasy is fantasy with a strong romantic element.
right.
It's historical fiction with a magical element.
Okay. Yeah.
So where you're going is very on trend right now. So
Okay.
yeah, you're not
Okay.
you're not going somewhere where somebody wouldn't want to go with you.
Great. Well, this gives me so much to think about.
Yeah, so
Um,
you're doing really well. You're on the right
Thank
track. I
you.
know,
Thank you.
and I know as a writer, when I give, like if I give Mark my opening chapter, tell me what you think. I know how that is. So I didn't mean to wait, but I wanted to wait until we were
No, I
going
love
live.
it, and you were
Yeah.
so positive. Thank you for. I
Of
mean,
course,
and
because it
what
is
about you?
good.
You said you were gonna like my voice. Did you hear? Did you hear it?
Okay,
How?
so the one thing I would tell you, and this is something we can go over at the very
Yeah, yeah.
end, is you mix a little bit of tenses. Some are present, some are past, and
Hmm.
then you also mixed a little bit of, I think you thought you were in first person, but it was really third because you used she and he and them instead of I and my husband and you see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
My
yeah.
kids. I think just pick and go, but right
Okay.
now just put it on just get that, what do we call it, the shitty first draft
Yeah.
down, and then you can go back. And that's why I didn't even want to talk about that piece, because that piece is what I call the easy part. I
Yeah,
can teach
yeah.
you how to write at some point, but I can't teach you how to tell a story. Telling
Okay.
stories is inherent. It's
Hmm.
like it's like you can either sing on pitch or you can't. You can
Yeah.
either tell a story or you can't. You're a good storyteller. The writing piece will come. So don't even worry
Okay.
about
Thank
that. Yeah.
you.
So
Thank
you're an
you.
excellent storyteller. I see where you're going. I got the idea. We'll worry about the nuts and bolts, I call it, after you get the book written.
Okay.
So I
So for
don't
the
want
next
you going
4 weeks, because I do okay writing on an airplane, and I'm going to be on a
Yep.
freaking airplane for 12 hours or
Yep.
14 hours.
It's perfect. It's
So
captured audience, perfect timing.
yeah,
Yep.
so I write,
Airports.
I can write. I want to keep, try to keep up. I probably won't be able to do my half hour every day, like thing,
That's
but I want
okay.
to keep up when I'm just like sitting. This is going to sound bougie, sitting in a park bench in Paris, can just pull my
With your baguette and your
with my
bebe,
croissant and
your
my
croissant,
cappuccino and my
your
latte,
croissant or your macaron when you're feeling bad,
whatever.
naughty.
I'll then I know then I can just keep, I want to keep writing, but this gives me so much. I really
Meanwhile, I'm
love.
going to be getting up at 5:30 and going to a coffee shop and writing until I go to work at 8. So, yeah, mine will be a little bit more of a grind, but that's okay.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Mhm.
and then we'll come back together. Maybe like the beginning of July.
Okay.
I will text you when I'm back in Nebraska, and it's going to be probably like around the fourth of July, 5th of July. So maybe on the 7th of July would be our next.
Okay. So everybody take their July, June hiatus. And then, do you have any last word to tell us before you get on that airplane? What happened? Oh, there
Yeah,
you are.
yeah.
Okay,
I'm
so
gonna.
last time
There
we
we go.
spoke,
Um,
yeah,
yeah. Go ahead.
last time we
Am I still
spoke,
here?
yeah, you're still
Uh-huh.
here. Last time we spoke, you were talking about the rudeness of people rushing up to the front to get off the plane. Do you have any
Yes.
advice for loading the plane now?
For getting on the plane.
Yeah, or do you have any last minute? Do you have any last words?
Uh, I mean, my last word today was going to be, you hear all these people and they want to be the one you quote. They want to have this
Mhm.
great quote that some people will repeat. And here's the quote of the day. And here's my profound things. And I want to be known for being a good listener
Mhm.
and not always having to have a quote to say. I don't know how, I mean, that takes a lot more restraint to
For
just be the
sure.
one listening to the quotes,
Mhm.
listening to what people have to say, and not necessarily even, just saying that's great. That
Yeah.
I'm working
I had
on
a
that.
customer whose son was getting ordained in the priesthood last week. I think it was Friday, and I was training someone and she kept interrupting her. And I just wanted to take her and push her out of the way because this woman was really having all kinds of feels and just crying. She was happy for him, but that meant, it's just a really hard life and she knew what he
Yeah,
was in
yeah,
for.
yeah,
And she was just all this emotion. And dude, I know anywhere in town that she could go get a massage because she was just here for the ordination.
yeah,
And we were looking for, a dress for her to wear that was going to be, but that wouldn't take away from his moment, but would show respect and conservative. And so we kept inserting herself in the conversation. And I remember thinking, that's not why we're here right now. That is,
right,
can you
right.
just please stop inserting yourself? So I love what you're saying. It's like this woman, she needed someone to listen and she needed
Hmm.
someone to encourage the rest of her story. And
Yeah,
anything I said was to repeat what she said or to push her to the next piece that she needed to say. And that is hard.
it is.
And it
It
is, but
takes
that's what she
practice.
needed. So it's also
Yeah,
read the room,
yeah,
man. Read the
yeah. It
room.
takes practice. So that's kind of what I'm going to be practicing because I'm going to be
I
with
love
all of
it.
my adult children. And so I'm going to be practicing and trying to do that. I have a desire. I mean, a lot of people would say, Stacy talks a lot. And I do feel comfortable carrying a conversation.
And you're good
Um,
at it.
but
For
thank
sure.
you. but I want, I want to carry it in a way where people really truly believe that I'm interested,
I love that.
not just waiting to say the next thing, waiting to have a profound quote, waiting to, tell them my story, tell them something, so it's,
Mhm.
anyway, I'm practicing that.
Okay.
That's,
So
yeah.
when next we meet, I want to hear how you did.
Okay. Okay. I will. So
Love it.
I
Love
have
it. Love
that.
it.
I have a lot of assignments.
Okay.
I want for you to take care of yourself. I want you to go have the massage that you recommended.
Okay.
Whoever you recommended, go and do that.
Okay.
I really want that for you. And what
Yep.
writing on your own book. I mean, I can't wait to hear, where that all ends up
Yeah,
going.
we'll talk about it next time. That'll give me a
All
month to
right.
really get deep into it.
And you're also going to be changing a lot of the stuff, right? You're going to
Yes,
be getting
yes. We're
stuff
going to be
changed.
chasing, hopefully, as our viewers and listeners, are 3,574 of them. Hopefully, all those listeners won't notice anything. We'll notice it on the back end. That's my
Okay.
goal.
Yeah. Good. Perfect. You're
Yep.
great. You're amazing.
Okay.
I love it.
That'll be my fun job.
Yeah. So hopefully we can stay connected. Well, we will stay connected.
Yep.
But
Back at work
until
and you
till
enjoy.
July, enjoy.
Yeah. Okay. Until
I'll
July. All right,
have a
everybody.
married son. All right. We'll talk
Oh,
to you
that's
later.
right. They'll all be married.
They'll all be
Yay.
married, taking care of somebody else's. Yeah.
They're off.